Speaking of movies, I wanted to make this analogy, and I don't know how poorly I'm about to explain it, but are you a fan of the X-Men movies, the original?
Yes.
Like the original trilogy? Okay. I'm a pretty big fan of those. And Resident Evil 6 to me is sort of like X-Men Last Stand.
I know exactly what you mean by saying that.
So yeah, like and fans of that franchise will know, and maybe for those who don't, I'll try to explain it. So X-Men, the first two movies set a tone and had a certain amount of heart and action, and they were sort of maybe janky in some areas, but fans came to expect something from the first two that were written and directed, I think, by Bryan Singer. Maybe not written, but definitely directed. The third one comes along, they lose Bryan Singer because he's off directing Superman Returns, and so they need to get some guy because they have like a quota, so they get Brett Ratner, who's mainly known for his action movies or whatever. So X-Men Last Stand is the third one that he directs, and it's what a lot of people feel is like a diluted, very messy, somewhat bloated version of the other movies.
Too many plot lines consecutively going at one time when they're not focusing on one.
Very action heavy, and so on and so forth. And this is sort of the same beast. This is the same situation that Resident Evil 6 sort of find itself in, where it's like trying to please the fans and also trying to please we also want to make this a commercial thing and
this
please
is
everybody.
Our trilogy. We need to.
Yeah, exactly. Go out with a bang. So X-Men Last Stand had three major important plot lines that were just not well developed in the movie and didn't really pan out well and were executed. And Resident Evil 6 to some extent has that sort of that same thing. I don't know. Do you agree with my analogy? Because I was thinking about it a lot.
I agree with it. It makes sense. Yeah, but I guess you also have to know X-Men 3 and play this game. But to be fair, you got time to watch them, so you'll understand. Yeah. If you know, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, you know.
By the way, X-Men 3 isn't as terrible as people think. I think there's a really great scene in there that Bryan Singer could have never directed because he can't do action well at all. I think Brett Ratner, it's like pros and cons. It's like you get the heart of Bryan Singer's X-Men movies, or with Brett Ratner, you get a technical, tight, it has pretty good pacing and some good action sequences, but the story and the characters sort of fall apart. So it's kind of like give or take. It's like what do you want? I can't do a good story and good action sequences. So I don't know. Let's move on to the last thing, which would be gameplay.